beautiful being. This beautiful being. And today we're going to make something very, very, very interesting and special. I have never tried such a recipe, but I read about it online. There's a friend who told me about it, and I really want to give it a try. We actually have two beautiful lilac trees. If you haven't seen lilac, this is the flower, how it looks like. And it's one of the most fragrant flowers. It's super lovely, the scent. I like it very much. But until this year, I didn't actually know that you can make syrup out of it. You can even make tinctures from it, and it has some healing properties. I just didn't read what it is good about. But we're not gonna make a tincture today. We're gonna make syrup. So we got all this bunch of lilac flowers. You just want the flowers. You don't want any leaves to go inside, because the leaves can actually make it bitter. And what we're gonna do now is we are just going to separate the little flowers, and for the proportion that we're gonna make today, I'm going to need about 4 to 5 cups of small petals like this. And that's what I'm gonna do now. So to be honest, it's quite of a job, this thing. And I wanted to pay attention to you at one thing. I'm actually trying not to put any of this green part here whatsoever, even though, as you can see, some of them, they just go. So I'm doing my best, but I'm not being a perfectionist. But I wanted to pay attention to you what type of flowers to pick, because our tree, one of them is already almost like finishing the blooming, and the flowers are super open. They almost have no closed little buds on them. And we were trying to collect the ones left with a little bit still unopen and mostly open, because the scent in these ones is the strongest. You don't want them entirely closed, because the scent didn't come out yet. The scent of the lilac trees, the essential oil, is very delicate, and it's much less than other flowers. That's why it is important what and how you're gonna get, in what condition you're gonna get your flowers. You also want them to be nice and healthy, for the tree not to be, not to have some sickness on it or whatever. Both of our trees are very good and very healthy. And yeah, and then you just keep on plucking. You can involve all the family members if they like to do that, especially if you have children. I think it will be very much fun to do this thing. Oh, I think it will take me about an hour to do all this, so I'm just gonna get back to you when it's all done. Okay, here we go. I finished with taking out the petals. I have about 5 cups now. It was quite of a some time to do that. And now I'm going to make my syrup. Here I have 1.5 liters of water. I'm just gonna close it because it's so windy. I'm gonna add 1 kilo of sugar. I'm gonna use half brown and half white sugar, because I just don't have enough brown, but I always prefer brown if I have. And then I have the juice of 1 lemon. And I'm gonna add 1 package of citric acid, but you can actually skip that. You just need to add a little bit more lemon juice, which will actually preserve it. So I'm gonna mix everything here and I'm gonna put it on the stove to melt. So this is the result of the lilac petals. That's a 3-liter jar where I'm gonna put everything to infuse. And that's my syrup. As you can see, it's a little bit brown because I used unrefined cane sugar. But if you use just white sugar, it's just gonna be transparent. Anyways, the syrup is supposed to turn quite dark at the end. That's in about a week, as they say. So I don't feel that this is gonna interfere the little bit darker color of my syrup. And as per the recipe, we are supposed to put the syrup as it's still hot on top of the flowers, but I think I'm gonna wait for it to cool off a little bit and then I'm gonna put it on top. And I will experiment later on with you if that came out with a very good flavor. I'm not gonna wait too long though, I'm just gonna wait a little bit, not to be like extremely hot. And then I'll get back to you. And so this is my final result. I just spilled a little bit of my syrup. I'm just gonna stir it, even though I know that the flowers will be floating now. It's inevitable. I think I'm gonna be stirring it every day, just to make sure nothing is rottening or whatsoever. By soaking them all, I want to make sure they're all covered with sugar, just to prevent any bad bacteria or anything. And now we are going to close this, and after this cools down, it is supposed to go in the fridge. However, that's a very big jar, like I told you. Look how beautiful it is. And I don't have such a big fridge, so I am going to put it in a place of the house where it's very cool. It's almost like fridge temperature, and it will stay there for 7 days, in which I will be occasionally stirring it. And after 7 days pass, I'm going to show you the result and we are going to try it to see how it is. And I'm going to tell you how to preserve it as well afterwards. So it's been even the 8th day, I think it is now. And I didn't show you what it looked like in the jar, because I was almost not going to upload this video, but I felt that I should, because there is such a recipe that exists online, and to me it is a little bit of a failure. Even though the syrup, it became this color, the syrup really tastes a little bit like lilac, but the taste is so subtle that I don't think we would enjoy drinking this. The lilac petal flowers became totally discolored. So to me this means that the essential oils of the lilac are very difficult to extract, just like the violets, for example. So if you try to do something similar with violets, you will probably have the same effect, because violets are some of the flowers which are the most difficult to extract essential oil from. So what I'm gonna do with this, I decided to transform it and make it into something totally different. But this is my personal choice. Maybe you can try it and See if you really like it. I'm sure that some people will like it. To me, it's not just strong enough. And if we dissolve this with water, it's going to be even more subtle, the taste. So I'm going to make this into lemon raspberry mint syrup, because that's just what I have right now available at home. I have a little bit of frozen raspberries, a little bit of lemons, and I have fresh mint. So I'm just gonna squeeze the juice of the lemons, like maybe 3 lemons, and put the peels as well inside because they give amazing essential oil. And I'm gonna put the raspberries and a bunch of mint, and I'm gonna boil this for maybe about 5-10 minutes until it starts simmering. And I'm just gonna pour this in bottles, and I will pasteurize this for another 10 minutes so that it can last for a long moment. So that's all with this experiment. I hope you like it. And if you try it, or if you have tried it, let me know. Maybe I made somewhere a mistake, even though I read several recipes and I strictly followed the instructions. But that's what it is for me. See you next time!